everyone, it's me, C Lefty Run. So I wanted to, it's been a while, right? I'm going to go over week 4 of my training. By the way, this is a running channel. I'm training for the Berlin Marathon. You're a first timer and this just happened to come across your YouTube universe randomly and you thought, I'm going to check out this video. So yes, I'm 46 years old. If you're new, training for Berlin, it will be marathon number 14 for me. And it will also be world major number 4. Marathon 14, world major number 4. So I just kind of go through what my training looks like as a 46-year-old teacher, mother of 2, wife, how I get it all done. Yeah, I share mostly my woes, and just, because when I was looking for training advice, it was hard to find. Not that I'm a great wealth of advice, but you can kind of compare or learn from my mistakes. That's the whole point. So anyway, so this is week 4, which I'm going to detail of my Berlin training. Week 3, I was in Costa Rica. I was going to try to get a video out before I left, and I just did not get a chance to. Am I on week 5? I don't know. When I come back, I'll let you know what week I'm officially on, or I'll title the video as to what week it's officially, because I just went to my videos. I was like, I did a week 2 video, but I don't think I did a video before week 3, which was leading into Costa Rica. Week 4, I went to Costa Rica. So I must have just finished week 5. I don't know if it matters. What matters is that I'm training. So I'll give you a little brief lowdown on Costa Rica in case you've been considering Costa Rica. So it was my 3rd trip to Costa Rica. The first time it was just my husband and I don't remember the year we went. We had 2 very small children. And so we were able to go for 6 days. We flew into Liberia and stayed at the Westin All-Inclusive. It was on that trip I realized Costa Rica is not Mexico, and I did not feel the need to stay at an all-inclusive resort. What do I mean by that? There's plenty to do around Costa Rica where I actually like to venture off the resort and try different restaurants and whatnot. When I'm in Mexico, I just prefer to stay at the resort. So that's what I mean by that. So, but it was a great time. So then my husband and I went back for our 20th wedding. No, could have been the 20th. Like, I don't know, 19th wedding anniversary, 18th wedding anniversary, some wedding anniversary. We stayed in Manuel Antonio. We also did an adults only resort. The Westin, by the way, wasn't adults only. We stayed in the adults only section because we did not have our own children. If I am not traveling with my own children, no offense, I don't want to be in the pool with other people's kids. So when we went to Manuel Antonio, we stayed in an adults only place called Maconda by the Sea. It was amazing. I loved Manuel Antonio. It's very far south in Costa Rica, perhaps the furthest south you can go, but at our hotel, there were sloths hanging out in the trees. Monkeys would come to the pool. You couldn't leave your dishes on your patio because the monkeys would come and take the dishes and then they would run back into the jungle. So the ongoing joke was like, people would be like, oh my God, I forgot. I left my dishes out and I woke up and they were gone. So it'd be like, oh my gosh, the monkeys in the jungle are armed and dangerous. Be very careful. Joking. But we loved that. And so this time we were taking our kids, who are our 2 boys, 15 and 13. And so for me, I was like, I want a trip that's like close to the beach where they can like boogie board, learn to surf, whatever. That has a cute little town vibe. And I just really want to relax. And so we went to Nosara, Costa Rica. I did some Insta stories on it, but let me tell you, it's very like wellness, yoga retreaty, lots of yogis out there. I was pretty sure I was going to join a cult, but decided not to. I'm just kidding, kind of. I'm pretty sure there's some yoga cults out there. You're going to be watching one on HBO Max coming soon. I wouldn't be surprised. So it was just interesting. It was very Americanized. Lots of American-owned businesses. In fact, my husband had an ET Surf hat on. ET Surf is like this kind of like mom and pop surf shop in Hermosa Beach. the lady was like, "Oh, where are you guys from? Long Beach. I recognize your hat. I'm from Manhattan Beach. I'm just building my vacation home here." So it was kind of like that vibe. She was very helpful though, because in the town, there was an organic grocery store. It was called Organica Grocer. And the prices were in line with Erewhon. For kettle chips, those 16 US dollars. Not kidding. And the place was packed. And I'm like, Nassau, Costa Rica, the Nicoya Peninsula, I think is what it's called. I could be wrong, but it's a blue zone. That I know for sure. Where I was a blue zone. So you've got people that live there that are 100+ years old. They don't need an organic grocery store. Their food is good enough. It's keeping them alive 100+ years. So I just thought that was funny and interesting, and I refused to go to that store. So we went to Super Nosara, and that was a regular grocery store, and that's kind of where we stocked up on things. The hotel we stayed at was called Olas Verdes. I loved it. It wasn't overcrowded. It was very small, kind of boutique-y. We kind of had two 1-bedroom apartments. Mine was on top, the boys was on the bottom. There was a separate entrance. So I was kind of like, thank gosh, they're a bit older. I was okay with that. If they were younger, that would have been uncomfortable for me to like have separate access to them. But it was fine. Actually, moving forward, when we travel again, I will get 2 hotel rooms. It was like a 3-minute walk to the beach. Breakfast was included. The food on the resort was great. The pool was small, but got the job done. There were moments when I was like, are we the only ones here? Because it is the rainy season in Costa Rica. So anyway, I'm going on and on about Costa Rica, and you want to know about running. But in case you're interested in Costa Rica, Nosara was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I do like Manuel Antonio a bit better because of all the wildlife in Manuel Antonio. Didn't see a lot of wildlife where we were, just monkeys. My husband took the boys on the ATV trip. I said, no, thank you. Have a good time. I'm not going. I don't want to go. I've already been on the ATV tours, seen all the things. I don't need to do another one in my lifetime. So they went and had a grand time. Oh, we also ate at this restaurant called Coyo. So good. If you're in Nassau, Costa Rica, you've got to go to Coyo. It's on the top of this mountain. You go up the mountain, you feel like you're gonna die. Like when I arrived there, I was like, did we die and go to heaven? Like, what is this? Because you're just driving up this mountain, it's rainy, it was interesting. And so we finally got there and I was like, oh my gosh, it is a restaurant. Then I started to question, like, maybe we fell off the cliff and I think we're at a restaurant, but we're really in heaven. That was another thing. You've got Organica Grocery, but the roads are really hard to even walk or run on. So did I get running done in Costa Rica? That's why you're here. Yes, I did. 4 days. So our hotel did not have a gym, which I was like, that's fine. I can just run around the town. No, you can't, because the roads are all through erosion. They're all messed up from the rain. So there was like huge potholes everywhere. It was very hard to run around the local town. So there was a gym at the Bodhi Yoga Wellness Center. It's a hotel. What was interesting about that hotel, let me tell you, so many like yoga wellness people, right? But they're all plugged in. Everyone at the pool on their phone. In the little restaurant, they had a sign that said, after 3 hours, you're out. Get your device and go, pretty much, because people just hang out at the restaurant and do their expatting work or whatever, working remotely. Yeah, so I was like, that's ironic for a wellness place. All these people are plugged in way more than they were at my hotel. Nonetheless, I liked the Bodhi Center because they sold me a day pass, which was $20, but well worth it. So I did 2 treadmill runs there, 6 miles each. The gym was still very warm, very humid. I did the best I could. I'm not like looking to hit my paces or do my workouts. Like, no, I just got in, ran by effort, did 6 miles. That was it. And then I spent 2 days running on the beach. I did 4 hours. It felt like 20. Literally, when I finished those 2 runs, it was so humid. It was like I jumped in the ocean. I was upset that I did not bring my flip-flops because I would have taken off my shoes and jumped in the ocean. But no one wants to put their shoes back on after being wet. So I opted not to jump in the ocean. And so I went back to the hotel and changed, and then I went into the ocean. So it was great. The beach was great. My kids had a blast. It was a great time. So that's that. Some other things I need to tell you. So I got back on Sunday, midnight, and I cannot go to bed after travel without unpacking everything first. So immediately I unpacked everything, and we also get Taco Bell on the way home. It's just a tradition anytime we travel. We got our Taco Bell, came home, I had to unpack everything, woke up the next morning, ran 8 miles. It was hot already, because I didn't get up early to go run. I think I left my house around 8:30. Should have left at 6. It was already 75 degrees and hot. It was 71% humidity. It's been humid here. Why, I don't know, but it was. So yeah, I've been leaving earlier since this run. I was gonna go and do 6 miles and I turned it into 8, so I didn't feel that bad. My average pace was a 9:19 and my heart rate was 150. Okay, so on Tuesday, I had a dentist appointment. As you know, my teeth, like I just would prefer somebody pull my teeth out and just give me dentures at this point. Let's just call it a day. The dentists won't do that for me. So I have to go in and out, in and out, in and out and get things done. So on Tuesday, I think if you recall, I had a really bad cold in March before I ran Boston. I was sick. It was beyond a cold, but that went into my gums, and then I had been having problems with my gums. So I went on Tuesday, I got a filling filled with my primary dentist, and then I had to go to a specialist. And then he was going to determine if he had to do some surgery on my gums or what his plan of action was going to be. I go in there, not knowing what to expect. He ends up giving me another root canal. I already had a root canal on the tooth, but I guess it wasn't well done. So he redid the root canal. He's like, if this doesn't work, it works 80% of the time. Come back and we'll have to do the second procedure. So fingers crossed that it works. I'm good with the root canal. So I said, can I run tonight? He said, yes. I was like, great. He said, just, play it by ear, see how you feel. I was like, okay. So I took some Tylenol and I went to my track workout, which is no longer at track. It is at Marine Stadium in Long Beach because Lakewood High School won't loan us the track in the summer because school is out of session. So I did 3 miles locally, and then I did 3 at Marine Stadium with a total of 6 miles. The first 3 I did easy. This workout was 800 times 6, so 6 800s. And again, it's just out and back. Marine Stadium is this paved road near the water. It's really lovely, but it's a little wonky. But you do what you have to do to get it done. So for the 3 miles easy, I did a 9:38. My heart rate was 135. It was 75 degrees. The 3 miles at Marine Stadium, it was also 75 degrees, but whatever. So my first 600 was 733, 732, 742, 733, 735. So, I was in the 730 range. It was supposed to be 10K pace. Again, this isn't determined by my plan. That was just what the coach set up, 10K pace. So, yeah, that's probably a bit faster than my 10K pace, but I was happy that they were consistent. And then I just did a brief walking recovery. So that was that. That was Tuesday. Wednesday, as you know, I've been enjoying going with AREC to Long Beach near the water. We always start at this place called Mulaney's. It's an Irish pub. And then we go like through the Naples canals in Long Beach. And what did I do? I did 6 miles. It was windy, 75 degrees. My average pace was an 8:25, 8 seconds faster than it was before I left for Costa Rica. My heart rate was 150. So 2 beats higher on the heart rate, but 6 seconds faster on this run. So my first mile was 9:06 because I show up first early because it's a 5-mile run, but I like to do 6. So I go early, I do a mile, and then I start with everyone else. So I did a 9:06 for mile 1, 8:33, 8:14, 8:18, 8:21, 7:59, yo. And I felt pretty good. So, I made a note here. I listened to this podcast, it's like Feisty Menopause. I'm not menopausal, I'm perimenopausal. And they were talking about the benefits of creatine. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying. Benefits of creatine, beta alanine, and beet juice because of the nitrates. right? Am I saying, or the nitrates. But hot dogs have nitrates. Those aren't good for you. Anyway, beet juice is good for you. It has that thing in it. I feel like it's nitrates. So, and I've always done the beet powder, which I do feel is beneficial. So I ordered some creatine. And I do have the beta alanine tablets. I took them for my first Boston build and I used it from, it's a Tommy Rivs company that he likes, First Endurance. It's very expensive. It was like $70 a bottle. I just wanted to try it. Thorne makes a cheaper one. I had used that. Both, I didn't feel a difference, but it prompted me to think I need to finish this Thorne bottle. So I'll tell you if I like the creatine, it's supposed to help with recovery. And then the beet juice, I do believe they say 8 ounces of fresh beet juice a day helps with how your blood processes oxygen and makes breathing easier. So there's a tip. Thursday, I took my off day. So, different to the past, I'm doing track, which is harder, right? And then I do the Wednesday night run, which is harder. Ideally, I don't like those two being next to each other, but they are. And I'm gonna do it because I see it's fun for me to measure growth with this Wednesday night run because I make it a tempo run and I know what that tempo effort should feel like. So I keep the effort in check. I don't look at my pace at all until afterwards. Friday, I did 6 easy because I had my run on Saturday, 69 degrees, 84% humidity. My average pace was a 941. My heart rate was 135. So that's all I noted there. And then Saturday, I did 10.3 miles. Again, 69 degrees, 74% humidity. My average pace was an 851. My heart rate was a 147. I noted I felt pretty good. I was really focusing on managing my effort. And that's kind of what I'm doing when it's hot. I run by perceived effort. If I feel like the run is hard and my pace isn't where it wants to be, then I just let the pace go. But if I feel like I'm running and my effort is feeling good and then I can pick up the pace a little bit more. So my splits for it were 933, 901, 854, 856, 824, 833, 858, 853, 847, 847, and 747 for that 0.3. So yeah, pretty consistent. I wish these high 8 paces were more in the 830 range, but like I said, I'm doing it by effort and that's the effort I have. So maybe that will increase or get better as time goes on. I don't know, but that's where I'm at. I feel like things are progressing pretty well. I keep comparing how I feel to how I felt during my Big Bear training when I ran that 327. I remember the beginning of the cycle was really hard because it was so hot. It was we had a really hot September, October that year. And so I was just so frustrated with training. And then the last 4 weeks, everything fell into place. And I was very easily running sub 8-minute miles and it felt kind of effortless. And so now every time I'm not in that place, I feel like my training isn't going well, which isn't necessarily true. But it's almost like when you have a great race, it almost spoils you because now I'm constantly comparing oh, how I felt then versus how I feel now. And yeah, why are these 853, 847s coming up? Why aren't those faster? I don't know. Maybe I'm just not in that stage right now. What else did I want to discuss? Oh, this is fun for ladies. I had a mammogram on Friday and I ran before it and I did the traditional one and then I did the ultrasound because breast cancer runs heavy on my dad's side of the family. All 3 of my aunts have had it. I had 4 aunts. I had 4 aunts. 3 that are still living all had breast cancer. 1 was diagnosed at 37. And my 4th aunt passed. She had lung cancer, which is, from my understanding, a bigger killer of women than breast cancer is. My dad also died of lung cancer at 59. So I'm very on top of it. But I have PPO insurance and they charged me $250 to do the dang ultrasound, which I'm like, I need the ultrasound. And everyone agrees I need the ultrasound. But I was just upset about that. When I had HMO, I didn't get charged for that. And then I paid the $40 extra for them to like take a deeper look at things. So, yeah. Oh, Hulu, I have a great recommendation. The Perfect Wife, which was about Sherry Papini. You guys, if you haven't watched The Perfect Wife with Sherry Papini, stop. I give you permission to stop watching this video and go watch it right now. She was that woman in California, which is where I live, who went for a jog and went missing. And I'm always obsessed with women who go missing or get killed while jogging because it terrifies me. And so, yeah, it talks about her story, which by the way, she faked it. She was right here in Costa Mesa with her ex-boyfriend, like making him hit her with like hockey pucks and stuff. So weird, but so fascinating. Watch it. I'm also watching Presumed Innocent on Apple TV with Jake Gyllenhaal. And that's my life right now. So, oh, sunscreen is also my life. So I'm going to share with you. I don't get paid for this, but I would like to share with you because it took me a long time to figure out what sunscreens work well on my face so that when I'm running, it doesn't drip and sting. But I also don't want chemicals in my sunscreen. So here's a couple that I really like. This Alba Sunscreen Face 50, this is really good. It does, like when I put it on, I can kind of taste it. That's always weird, right? Because when you put on a lotion, you can taste it in your mouth, you know, it's kind of going into your skin. But I can get over that. Doesn't drip in my eyes, feels very nice, goes on quite nicely. So this is Alba 50 for your face. Okay, that's number one. Number two is this Coppertone Sport Mineral Sunscreen. This is also very good. Doesn't drip in my eyes. It will give you that white hue. Got to rub it in real well, but works well. Running specific if you're sweating a lot. If you're not sweating a lot, like if it's winter and you're out and you're running, this is my all-time favorite just face sunscreen. It's called Water Sunscreen by Thank You Farmer. I got this from Costco. It's really good. It's SPF 50. I always put this on under my makeup. It goes on like a regular lotion. It's really good. Whenever Costco has it, I stock up. Thank You Farmer, SPF 50, very good. This I found at Run Shield, and it's got a tinted moisturizer. I found this at when I ran the Mesa Half Marathon. There was a booth and they were giving out samples of this, and I tried it and I really liked it. This is great for summer if you can run with it. Doesn't go into your eyes, but it gives you a little tint. So if you don't want to put foundation on, but you need high SPF, this is really good. So Sun Shield, if you're looking for a good face one, highly recommend. That's about all I have this week. So the quote of the week is the courage to start, strength to endure, resolve to finish. Or this is also a good one too. I actually think about this one when I'm running. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So the second I take that first step of a marathon, I'm like, whew, I'm less than 26.2, right? The further I go, the less I have to do. So that's good thinking strategies. That's all I have. This was a long one. I hadn't seen you in a while. So yeah, I thought I'd make it long. Now I have to get ready to take my son to the doctor's. Fun, 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 fun. Yeah. And I will be less busy because my son's baseball schedule, my other son's baseball schedule has died down. If you have a child that plays baseball, you know, he was having like 5 to 6 games a week. They're like, the games are 2.5 to 3 hours. So that's like a part-time job, just going and watching his games. My husband and I are kind of at the point to where it's like, are you going to go to the game or am I going to go to the game? Every time I don't go to the game, I miss something really good. And then every time I do go to the game, he won't play that game, or you can never time it right. Anyway. All right. See you next week. Have a good one. Bye.